And so Ziba is entrusted with getting the message back to Mephibosheth and escorting him back to the palace. So Mephibosheth finds himself before the king, and he says, Lord, Master King, what do you want with me? Now you know the story. Mephibosheth is invited to eat at the king's table, and he's treated as royalty. Now the question that faces us this afternoon is, how in the world do I make it to the king's table despite my disability? Well, if we smell the scent of the scene of this text, we'd realize the text is tailored to teach us a few things that we've got to do in order to make it to the king's table despite our disability. First thing you've got to do if you want to make it to the king's table is refuse to be carried too long. Come on, turn to your neighbor, say, neighbor. Come on, I said speak loud. Neighbor, refuse to be carried too long. Okay, I'm still in my text, y'all. Mephibosheth is 5 years old. He's able to walk. But be careful not to rush to the fact that he was dropped, that you miss the exegetical insight into who dropped him. Mephibosheth is dropped by someone who loves him. He's not dropped by a negligent nurse. He's not dropped by a clumsy caregiver. His nurse loves him, perhaps treats him like a son. But the problem is she carries Mephibosheth for too long. Okay, let me help you. Most babies start walking on their own between 8 and 16 months. But at 5 years old, instead of teaching Mephibosheth how to avoid danger, she's trying to carry Mephibosheth out of danger. Okay, let me help you and come down your street. That's why most of you young black ladies struggle to find a decent, independent, dependable young man. Why so, preacher? I'm glad you asked. Most of the men have been carried too long by their mother. They've been dropped in your lap, and now they're too lame to take care of you. Come on, I ain't trying to hit you, but I ain't trying to miss you either. Mama cooked all his life. Mama washed his dishes all his life. Mama ironed his clothes all his life. Mama did his groceries all his life. Mama paid his phone bill all his life. It's okay for mama to take care of son, but if you don't let him walk, you're teaching him how to be lame. And that's why I sympathize with all these young, wonderful young ladies trying to find a good man in the church, but all they're finding is boys in men's body. So some relationships are failing because he wants his woman to do what his mama did. Do I have any company in the building? He was dropped by a well-intentioned nurse that didn't teach him how to avoid some stuff. Okay, if you're going to make it to the king's table, you've got to refuse to be carried too long. But secondly, if you're going to make it to the king's table, you've got to realize that despite your disability, God has called you to be productive.